Wide Glide rides here. On today's video, we're going to be going down Stonelick Williams Corner Road. It's quite a mouthful. I make a little bit of a goof here. Downshifted very quickly and stopped very fast because I didn't want to miss my turn. Kind of a bonehead move. Anyway, here's Stonelick Williams Corner Road. A little bit of an unusual lane arrangement here. You've got the white lines on either side and no yellow divider. It's kind of something you don't see very much of around here in Clermont County, Ohio. There's a map of the general area, kind of about far west of Cincinnati, or sorry, east of Cincinnati. And then here's the road that we're on. The arrow is pointing right about where we are right now, right by the fire department. So we'll be heading south along that road, which kind of follows this Stonelick Creek. So had a bit of a camera issue. I was wearing an action cam. You can see the straps there on a chest rig. Got all the way home, took the camera out and realized that it had frozen up and not recorded anything at all. So I'm relying on a couple of 360 cameras. You can see one of the effects of the 360 camera with the lens separation. It looks like the back of my bike is shaking around everywhere, but that's actually just the difference between the two lenses and the camera shaking around. And unfortunately, I don't have really good stabilization on these cameras. Well, none at all, as a matter of fact. And when I try to run it through the software, it kind of marginally does a stabilization. So apologies for the poor quality, poor sound quality. So I'm riding a 2002 Harley Davidson Wide Glide. I've just got this bike this year. Still kind of learning the forward controls. But this is a nice road to be on a Sunday morning. There's almost zero traffic. Nice country ride. And the biggest thing I need to look out for are, frankly, deer, raccoons, things like that that might jump out in front of me. Now here in just a second, I'm going to be going by a really cool old-time car, some sort of coupe. You see me give him the thumbs up there. Then here's a second view of it, and right behind it is a classic Beetle convertible. Found out later that this was because of a big car show that my son and I ended up going to. And here's something a little bit unusual that happened. I crossed this little bridge, and then you see this truck flashing its lights at me. Now, I didn't know if he was giving me the go-ahead to cross that little bridge, which I had already crossed, or if he was warning me about something coming ahead. And then sure enough, I get up here and I see these cars kind of stopped, and I'm kind of wondering what's going on, and this truck has his window down. He's kind of hanging out the window, so I kind of check in with him and ask him if it's okay to proceed. And honestly, I did not understand a word he said. So I went ahead and cruised on cautiously. I think they were just doing some sort of construction and kind of blocked one lane there. But, you know, when that truck flashed its lights, I don't know if there was something in the middle of the road. You know, you just got to be careful when you see that. Or it could have been a cop. Maybe he was warning me about a cop running radar. But obviously it was just that little roadblock there. So, I'm going to bring her back up to speed, and let's just keep cruising. So, like I said, I had a little bit of a different camera arrangement. No straight-ahead camera on the chest rig, so I was relying on these two 360 cameras. One's mounted on the passenger foot peg. I have a little bit of an extension so it sticks out. That's the one that you're looking at right now. And then I have a second camera mounted on a selfie stick, which is this view right here. These are both actually the same brand 360 camera. As sheriff goes by, I give him a little head nod there. Always want to stay on the good side of the cops. So, yeah, the sound quality on these cameras is poor at best, and plus they get just completely blown to bits by the wind. But, you know, they have an internal mic. So, the camera I have on my chest rig, the Action Cam, actually uses an external mic. So I wire that up, and then, you know, I'll wear the microphone on my back or somewhere where it's not going to get hit with a bunch of wind, and usually it comes out sounding pretty decent. You can hear the motor a lot better and so forth. But this time, it just wasn't my lucky day for audio. So we've got this kind of crummy audio here to work with. So I'm headed toward a covered bridge. It's the Stonelick Creek covered bridge. It's historical. I think it was in bad shape at one point, and maybe in 2014 or so, I can't remember, they restored it. So it's a nice, pretty bridge. Here it is coming up right now. I was a little bit concerned going through that bridge. I've been through it once before, but I couldn't remember. You know, some of these covered bridges have boards running down the length of the bridge for support or tire traction or whatever, and you know, it's rather motorcycle unfriendly. If you get off that board and try to get back on, you can create a problem. You know, it's very uneven. Yeah, this waviness, I don't know where that comes from. I know that both of these cameras shake a lot, and that's something I noticed on my Harley. It's it's a little bit tricky getting good camera footage just because the bike itself shakes so much. I have a Yamaha XT250 dual sport, and it barely vibrates, and it's much easier to manage camera footage on that one. So it's a beautiful morning. The leaves are just getting ready to change here pretty soon. Still been very warm here in the Cincinnati area. We've had many perfect weekends in a row. I usually ride early morning on the weekends. Wish I had done more riding, honestly, this summer. That's a lot of work going for a ride. There's a lot of gear to put on, moving stuff out of the way in the garage to get the bike out, planning a route. It takes a little bit of effort, and on the weekends I'm pretty lazy. Getting near the end of the road here. I'm coming up to Highway 50. You'll see up here I have a little bit of an issue when I come up to stop. When I'm turning right here, but as I look left, first of all, it's a real hard left, and it's hard to see. There's a bunch of brush and trees and stuff, so I'm kind of waddling up here. And my mask got a little bit foggy, so I had to lift it up. That mask, by the way, is fairly new. I really like the color of it, the shade of it. So anyway, that'll pretty much wrap up this video. I hope you're all staying safe out there, and if you ride, you know what they say, keep the rubber side down. And we'll see you next time. This is Wide Glide Rides out.